the benefits of success, but we don't like the building of success. Write that down. We like the benefits of success, but not the building of success. In other words, we want success to come to us in a finished product process. I always tell people that your prophetic destiny and your prophetic potential are two different conversations. If you've read my book, Honor, in this book, I talk about a concept that is very new to many people. One thing you'll discover if you read my books or listen to my podcast or hear me in an interview or read something of mine is that I speak in a very different language than most people. Most people are framing their world in prophetic constrictions. I frame my world in prophetic realities and potentialities. And so that's great. You have prophetic potential, but how do you get from prophetic potential to prophetic destiny? And that's what Honor is about. That book is about the process between your potential and your destiny, which I call prophetic development. The reason that most people never fulfill purpose, maximize their potential, or do anything significant or meaningful with their lives is because they get trapped in this prophetic developmental process. They know what's possible. They like what's possible. They can even see to an extent what is possible. But when it comes to engaging this process to get you from where you are to where you have been destined to be, nobody likes the development. Why? Because everybody wants to snap their fingers, magic, and we get to manifestation. But the reality is that anything that we get to, anything that we try to possess without process is illegal in our lives. And so we have a lot of illegal people trying to possess promises and move into prophetic destiny, and they can't do it. You have no legal grounds. You have no legal structure that gives the validity, to you stepping into that reality in your life. And so the only legitimate way, let me say it again, the only legitimate way to get to your prophetic destiny is through development. And that is the thing that holds so many people back from the life that they were truly created and intended to live. The more that you desire is on the other side of what you won't do. I wonder if we were to sit down and have a conversation, what is it that you are not willing to do that is hindering you from embracing the more that you want to see in your life? In other words, more will never manifest in your life until you move towards more. I always tell people that we're always moving towards something. We're always moving towards success and prosperity, or we're always moving towards failure and defeat, but we're always moving towards something. If you listen to the last episode, I told you how most people live their lives in the margin of mediocrity. I want you to live your life in the margin of mastery. One of the things that separates me from other people is not that I just have this special DNA or thing that has separated me from other people is, yes, my mindset, but more so than the mindset has been my commitment to personal mastery. We have a lot of people trying to master industries, trying to master disciplines, trying to master subjects, and they have not mastered self. And so personal mastery is absolutely important before you can ever embrace professional mastery or destiny mastery in an area. We have so many people that want to call themselves coaches and thought leaders and master teachers, and they have no experience. They have no wins, no victories. They have nothing on their resume to validate or give credence to what they say they possess. And so you have to get to, first of all, to a place of mastery. And as you get to a place of mastery, then you move into what I call your genius zone, or that place of significance where you are empowered to showcase your difference in the world. People will begin to pay attention to your difference because of the disciplines that you have put in place to get you to a place of mastery in your life. And I think that if more people live their lives with that type of understanding, it would change everything. We would realize that because we went to a 2-hour seminar and we got some information that we never put into practice. Our lives are not just going to change because you spend a day with one of your favorite, individuals or thought leaders. Your life is not going to magically change. But what I can do, I can go to this 2-day seminar. I can get in this mastermind group. I can do this. I can apply this information to my life. I can allow this information coupled with my experience to produce growth and mastery and distinguish myself in the best in the world at what I do. I think we have to stop looking at success and greatness as a shortcut and look at success and greatness as something that has to be tailor-made for every individual. I want you to write that down. Stop looking at success as a shortcut and look at success as something that is tailor-made for every individual. As you have heard me say many times, success is something that you have to define for yourself. And if you don't define success for yourself, you will always live your life in the definition of somebody else's success. In other words, you don't create success for yourself. You're going to become a casualty of somebody else's success in life. And so you have to be committed to personal mastery and personal growth and personal development. And it's more than reading books, because people are reading books after book after book, and nothing is happening in their life. It's not just reading books. It's not just going to seminars. It's not just listening to podcasts. You have to be willing to do the work. People are always asking, how did you learn this? How did this happen? And how did that happen? It's because I've been doing the work. I'm not just going to events or listening to great speakers. Every day I'm getting up, I'm doing my work so that I can develop. And as I develop, guess what? I'm gaining capacity, experience, wisdom, skills that all serving me in the greater scheme of things and realizing my greatest potential. In other words, as I said, more is not going to manifest until you move towards the more in your life. And you have to ask yourself the critical question, what are you moving towards? Because, I always tell people, even in our inaction, we're making a decision. And inaction is not only a down payment on future cycles of frustration, failure, and defeat, but inaction is the proof that one does not value the seed of potential. Write that down. Inaction is the proof that one does not value the seed of potential. So when somebody tells me, I want this, I want that, I want to accomplish this, I want to have this, and they're not moving towards that in their lives, it lets me know that it's not something that you value. Because anything that you value, nobody has to persuade you to pursue. Write that down. Anything that you value, nobody has to persuade you to pursue. If I have to persuade you to pursue something, that's not something you value. And more so than it's not being something that you value, it is something that is not a priority in your life. And a lot of times people are not successful, they're not making progress, they're not prospering, they're not thriving in life because their priorities are out of whack. I mean, you get ample time to scroll social media and to binge watch Netflix, but you don't have any time to read, you don't have any time for your spiritual growth, you don't have any time for your personal development, but yet you're going to be the best in the world at what you do. Nobody rewards the best in the world at being mediocre. We reward the best in the world for mastery. And so what are you mastering? Get out of the margin of mediocrity and get into the margin of mastery. And mastery does not happen without investment. And we're always investing. And our investments not only decide tomorrow, but our investments engineer the future. And so whatever future you stepped in today is because of the investments you made yesterday. And your tomorrow will look like the investments you made today. So make sure that you're investing in things that are going to move your life forward, that are going to ultimately empower you to realize your greatest potential. Every day we have a decision to make to move toward different things in our lives. But in order to move towards more, it requires two things. Number one, a made-up mind. I've said this to you many times. Your feet will never take you where your mind has never been. And so you cannot create a reality in your life that had first not taken residence in your mind. Your mind is the blueprint of